In this video, we're going to be taking a look at how to write an equation of a line when you're given 2 points that it passes through. The first step is to find the slope. You can find the slope a number of ways. One way is to use the slope formula. Another way would be to look at a graph and draw a slope triangle. I don't have a graph here, so I'm just going to use this slope formula. I'm going to label my coordinates, x1, y1, x2, y2, and I'm going to plug the points into my formula. So for the top, the numerator, I'm going to put in -5 minus 7. And then in the denominator, I would have to do 4 minus 2. That simplifies to -12 over 2, or -6. Once I have m, I'm going to pick one of the 2 points and plug that into my slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, to solve for b. I'm going to pick 2, 7, just because my values are positive there, and that's a little bit easier to work with. So I'm going to plug in 7 equals, in for m goes -6, times 2 plus b. Now this is an equation that I know how to solve, and I can do that like so. Then, when I'm done, the final step is to go ahead and put it all together and get y equals -6x plus 19. The next type of problem I want to briefly go through with you is looking at equations of parallel lines. If I want an equation of a line parallel to this one and passing through the point 0, 4, I need to think first about parallel lines. Well, parallel lines are lines that never touch, so they have the same slope or steepness. So I'm going to look at this equation here and grab my slope from that equation. I see that my slope here is 7, and then it's passing through the point 0, 4. Now in this case, 0, 4 is a special point because it's a point that's on the y-axis. Whenever I see that x is 0, I know that the other point is going to be the b value of where my line crosses through. So I can look at that because it's 0, 4 and know that this line is going to cross through at 4. If I don't recognize that, I can still just take that coordinate and plug it in. So I would get 4 equals 7 times 0 plus b and solve through it just like we did in the other example. And then my equation would be y equals 7x plus 4. The last problem I want to do with you relates to perpendicular lines. Now I know lines are perpendicular. I want a line perpendicular to this one. That means those lines meet at a 90-degree angle. I also know the slopes of perpendicular lines are something we call opposite reciprocals. So example, if one slope was 1/2, the opposite reciprocal would be a -2 over 1. In this case, my slope isn't 1/2, instead my slope is 2/3 of this line. So its opposite reciprocal would be a 3/2, that's negative. So that's the slope of the perpendicular line. My perpendicular slope is -3/2. Then I'm going to take my point and plug it in for x and y just like I normally would or did in the other problems. So plugging that into y equals mx plus b gives me 15 equal to -3/2 times 2 plus b. Then I'm going to go through and multiply those to cancel, and I am left with 15 equals -3 plus b, and I'm going to add 3 to both sides to get 18 equal to b. So then my equation, putting it all together, would be y equals -3/2 x plus 18. Okay, I hope this was a helpful review for you in finding the equations of lines, the equations of parallel lines, and the equations of perpendicular lines. Thanks for watching.